Hi, I'm Dennis Washington with Cross Digital and CrossDig.com. Hope you're having a great day today. We have a really cool interview for you for the Cross Digital podcast. It's Ryan Masters of Squeeze Juice Marketing, which is an online reality-based marketing company, as well as the Workout Corner. You may have seen some research about some buzz about Spartan training. He's your guy. This is the guy that started it all. And all this kind of got born out of rescuing a family furniture business years ago, back in 2008. This is kind of where this all began. As we discussed in this upcoming interview you're about to listen to, he rescued the family business and turned it into a profit that he was able to sell earlier this year, and used the internet to do it. The business was nearly bankrupt, had hardly any money left in it, and he was able to turn it around. So he's got a good track record of success of using the internet to grow a business. And so I contacted him, wanted to talk more about him and get him to talk to you about how the internet is such a game changer for businesses, and not just in one way. One of the things that he talks about in this interview that you're about to listen to is the concept of there can be multiple ways to grow a business. There's not one magic bullet that hits everything here. There's a strategy that has to be involved. The idea of knowing who your target customers are, and then coming up with a plan. But that plan needs to have multiple avenues. And for the content marketing purist that may be out there that think that it's all about the good, useful content, which is, as he points out, it's very important. But to get a business off the ground and really know if your strategy is going to work, even some paid search can be really helpful in understanding very quickly if the content you're producing is going to resonate with your target audience. Get the audience in there quickly to see if this is something they can use or not. So some really great stuff here from Ryan. And he goes into a lot of depth about that and about the importance of having that strategy and how to get there with your business. So without further ado, here's the interview with Ryan Masters. Joined now on the phone with Ryan Masters of Squeeze Juice Marketing. It's a online realty-based marketing company, as well as the Workout Corner, Spartan Training. Ryan, thanks for joining us today.
Sure, thanks for having me. So
I just got through doing a little bit of an introduction about you and all, but tell folks that may not be familiar with you who you are and a little bit about yourself, how you all got started in this.
Sure, yeah. So I got started on the entrepreneurial path with kind of the family business back in 2008. We had a furniture company that was a wood shop, and it was basically on its way out due to the economy that was going on and competition from China. And before declaring bankruptcy, we had I came in and we had $500 to turn it around.
Wow.
And so brought it to the internet, built an e-commerce site or website where you can sell things online, and from there dealt with all the other fun stuff, employees, marketing, advertising, sales, vendors, and over a period of 5 years and a lot of trial and error, was able to turn around and sell it. And then through that point started also Squeeze Juice Marketing and in the Workout Corner.
You've certainly seen, just in the few years that you've done this with the furniture business and then your other businesses there, the way that the internet has transformed the way a business can not only survive but actually make a profit. When you start to look at a business, and I guess take us back to that time in 2008. That first go around with the furniture business. What was your thought process about, backs against the wall here? Did you feel like that was going to be a last ditch effort, or did you feel pretty confident that this was going to be not only the way to turn around the business, but to actually make a big profit?
Yeah, I felt pretty confident that it was going to help. I wouldn't say that I was guaranteed it was going to turn a huge profit, but I knew that it was going to help because I had grown up. I'm a digital native, so I was born into computers and been playing with those ever since I was a little kid. And I knew that there were tons of people around the country that would be interested in these products, but they'd just never heard of them before because the only marketing or advertising that had been done was through direct mail, and that's can oftentimes, if you don't really know what you're doing, it can be very expensive and harder to get in front of the right people. But
right.
with the internet, the floodgates are open in terms of you can get in front of the exact prospects or customers who are looking. They're already looking for what you're selling and what you offer, and those are the best people to get in front of because they already want it. So you don't even have to really sell them. You just have to assure them that you're providing a quality, good product or service, and you can deliver on time.
When you start to come up with a strategy, and I mean, we see the work of the success there, not only with the furniture business, but what you've done since then with Squeeze Juice Marketing and the Workout Corner. What would you say is your starting point in coming up with a plan of, okay, this is how we're going to use the internet to grow our business?
Sure. So the biggest thing with the internet that I've learned in terms of growing your business is measurement and knowing your numbers. It makes it so easy. With the advent of technology, it just makes it so easy to know if what you're doing, marketing and sales-wise, is working. And if you don't know, and if someone doesn't know, then that's just an indicator that something is wrong, because basically whatever advertising you do, there's a method or methodology you can follow to track to know, okay, I spent $500 and that campaign or that message brought back, $5,000 or $10,000 or $0. And so you learn from that test and modify the message if it didn't work, or scale it up if it did.
When you, and absolutely, I mean, this is what you're saying is things that I've heard other people talk about as well. How important is in the process is knowing, and I guess even the better question, where in the process would a business need to identify its target audience? Because I see a lot of people that say, I've got a product and it's going to be great, and you start to quiz them about it, and they don't even really know who they're trying to attract. Where in that marketing planning process do you try to decide who I'm going after?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's always real tough, especially as the business owner or the product creator, because you just have that inside the bottle vantage point. So it can be really tough to identify who your target market is. But again, the nice thing about the internet is there are ways to figure it out. So I was a history major, believe it or not. I don't come from a business background, but the strong suit or what I really learned from history is the skill set of researching and finding the information you need. So when it comes to finding out, okay, who might my target market be, one thing just to look for is, first of all, hop on Google or Bing or whatever and look for, if there are similar products being sold, look for those, and then look and see what are the marketing messages. Are there comments? Are there blog reviews about it? Are there forum posts about it? There's social media talk, tweets or Twitters or whatever going on about it. Right. There's all kinds of data at your fingertips. You just have to look at the right spots and know what you're looking for. So that's one angle. The other is, you can hop on Amazon, and the big gold mine in Amazon is the reviews. So if there are products similar to what you're looking to sell, just go look at the reviews, and not just the positive reviews, but also the one-star reviews. Like what's pissing people off, or what are they really frustrated with about this particular product, and then how can you change your marketing message to meet those objections?
And that's you raise a great point with the idea of looking at the negative reviews. And the flip side of that is the clients that I run into before, where they've talked about how they don't like, and nobody likes to have bad things said about them, but they want to make the bad things disappear. And I'm like, maybe you can use that to your advantage as a business, depending on how you treat the customers who are initially unhappy with your product or your service. What advice would you give a business that is trying to grow their product or their service, their brand, and they're dealing with some negative reviews, negative consequences? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, so I remember there's a great lesson I learned back when I was in sales before I started the entrepreneurial path, which was, I worked at a high-end home theater store, so this was kind of before home theater was really big on the internet and everything. And the lesson there was that they told us was like an angry customer, an upset customer is the opportunity to get a customer for life. Because what happens is, and it's true, because I went through it and I was like, wow, this is so right, in the sense that they call and they're really pissed off about something. And first of all, you just have to detach. You have to have the maturity in the business sense to detach your personal worth and your vested interest in the conversation. Because whoever's calling or writing a review, they're upset and they're mad, so they're just going to say stuff, and it's not directed at you. It's just kind of in general. So you can't internalize that, otherwise it'll cloud your judgment, and then you'll just make a big mess of it. So you separate that, and then what you do is you just make sure that they feel listened to, so you kind of reaffirm or restate what they're complaining about, and then you do your best to rectify the situation. And if you follow those 3 steps, they're going to turn around from being the biggest detractor to your biggest promoter, and they're going to love you you're going to have a customer for life, because they're in such a charged emotional state that if you're able to reverse that around, then they're going to be like, wow, man, I remember when I was so upset because this happened with this business, but boy, oh boy, did they ever take care of me.
Yeah.
Oh, and so that's the offline model, but it's the same thing online. Find out who wrote the comments and reach out to them and say, hey, listen, thank them. Say, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. Because what are they expecting? They're expecting you to make an excuse and be like, well, whatever. So when you come across and say, hey, thank you, their guard kind of almost goes down instantly. And then you say, thank you so much for bringing this to our attention. We apologize. What can we do to rectify the situation? Or you can put forth a suggestion, say, hey, can we send you a new one or give you a credit, this, that, and then from there, work it out. And then the last part is a couple of negative reviews add to the credibility of your site or of whatever it is you're selling, because there's always going to be, you can't please everyone, and people now are getting smarter in the sense that they understand some of these reviews can be fake. So when they see only 5-star reviews and they all just singing praises, they might get a little suspicious. But when they see 5-star reviews plus a couple 3 plus 1 or 2 1s, then that looks more like a realistic picture. And they're not going to just say, oh, one person, this 1 star means I'm not going to buy it forever. It just adds that dimension of credibility.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. You're right. And that's the thing. I tell people a lot about the transparency of the Internet. And because the Internet is such a vast resource of information, it's really hard to hide who you really are on the Internet. And the reviews, that makes a great point with that. Looking at the idea of, and kind of from a broad sense of content and marketing your business and the reviews and handling criticism and all that, from the whole content marketing perspective, how do you decide what you are going to do when you have a product or a service or a business? How do you go about saying, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is how I'm going to do it?
Yeah. So in terms of creating a content strategy to help promote your business.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the main thing is you want to look at, again, going back to kind of the target market or who our target customers are, and then just look laterally to your product or service and say, what questions or issues do they have pertaining to this that I can provide, expert advice on? And that would be, for the furniture business, we sold these little tables called decorator tables, which go next to the bed, and you put table skirts on them, and they're kind of like a inexpensive way to make a room look really nice. Now, I don't know anything about making table skirts or anything like that, but customers kept asking, what size tablecloth do I need? What color fabric should I use? All these kind of side questions to purchasing our product. So what I did is I went out and found some interior designers and said, hey, can you answer these questions and write a couple articles for us, and pay you for it, and did that, and that was a big hit, because now we're providing a value service to potential customers, and they get to read and consume information related to your product, and that's what people are searching for. People will be searching for how to do this, how to do that, and so they'll find that content, and then that will lead them to your particular product or service.
Totally makes sense. So the idea of being useful to people and as a business, I mean, that's so important. Well, a little bit about that, because there's so much interest these days about social media and the marketing, the tools that it can help a business with that. What do you use social media? How do you use social media with your marketing plans?
Yeah, I really don't. I have a Facebook profile and a Google Plus and Twitter and all that for my fitness company, because it's just good to have. You want to claim those spots. You want to have your business name or your name out there and collected. But other than that, I really don't. It's painted with such a broad brush. Social media is like the cure-all, end-all, be-all. It's like the flashy. It's like the new kid in class, and so everybody wants to use it. But it's definitely a money pit, and for most cases, it's not worth. At least it's not where I go with clients initially, because there are better methods to investing your advertising dollars to where you're getting a return. See, like you can't take Facebook likes and deposit them in the bank. I've tried, and it's just not.
The banker, the teller gives you a blank stare there.
Yes, exactly. So until that happens, I'm interested in getting dollars from my clients. And so, again, I think it's important to have all those properties claimed and have a presence there. But, tweeting every day and writing Facebook posts every day, unless they're really, really good content that people absolutely love, you're just contributing junk to the internet, and it's not super helpful. So I don't subscribe to just wasting a lot of money on social media.
Yeah.
It's a very, like Facebook, for example, you can do Facebook ads, and that's good, but people go on Facebook to be entertained. So unless your service or product is something about entertainment or stories or, kind of hobbyist type of thing, community-based, then Facebook might not be the best place for you. Right. And you want to look at, a channel. I'm a big believer in mastering one or two methods of online marketing or medium instead of trying to do everything and just being, subpar at them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. The whole, I guess, the old idea, the old adage of being a master, trying to be a master at everything, really not. I'm not wording that right, but exactly. Right. Yeah. That whole concept of do something and do it really well, or don't try to do it at all. So when you. There's also been, in the content marketing world, there's been so much attention on the idea of organic, useful content and how that can improve your search engine optimization and get more traffic. And some people with content marketing will even look down their noses at people who use paid search, in a sense, thinking, okay, you are artificially getting people to your website. You're not using the natural human behavioral way of doing it with good, useful content. Where do you fall as far as does paid search even help you with your business?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Paid search is the reason that I was able to turn that e-commerce business around. And last year, and that's one of my main kind of consulting services, and I still do occasional hands-on, but for my clients, last year I managed over $370,000 of spend and brought in $4 million.
Wow!
And so paid. So I never like to say there's only one way in terms, because that's the great thing about the internet is there are multiple methods and strategies for making your business work, but I definitely do not subscribe to SEO as far as a priority, especially when you're first starting out, because so you create some content and then you wait 3 to 6 months, researching and doing SEO to see if you can get ranking, and then you get traffic for that content, and then you find out that it's the wrong traffic that's being attracted, or these people aren't buying. So you just wasted all that time that for $100 or a couple $100 or $1,000, you could have found out in the first week that content you created was not resonating with your target market. And so that's why I almost feel like in some cases, people who just want to do SEO and they're not willing to invest in paid traffic, they don't want to put skin in the game, and so they're wasting time in the sense that when you're spending money on traffic, you better believe you're gonna be working and looking to make sure that traffic is bringing you money back.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. It makes total sense, because that's the thing that I've always, when I've talked to clients, I'm like, okay, you're wanting to start a blog and all. It's fantastic. That can be very useful, but what's your end game here? And most businesses want to make money, and I'm like, okay, how much time do you have to want to wait for this traffic to come in that you think you're going to get? So you're absolutely right with the paid search. I'm curious, too, a little bit about your thoughts on YouTube. So a lot of people may or may not think of that as a social media platform. It's certainly, in my mind especially, I've got preteens in my household, and they a lot of times will start their internet search on YouTube and if they can't find what they're looking for, then they'll go somewhere like Google. What's your take on YouTube?
Yeah, so real quick before that, just to piggyback on the SEO, what you said about, they want to rank for some keywords, and they have to wait all that time, and that's true. And again, it's not that I'm against SEO, but it should be second in line, and the reason is you use paid traffic first to make sure those keywords convert.
Yeah.
And bring you money. And once you know that those keywords convert because you spent money on them right away and you're able to see that, then you invest in the medium to long-term strategy of SEO for those same keywords because you have the conclusive data.
Good point.
The traffic that comes from those keywords make sales. If you
goes
go backwards,
and it goes back to your research point of view. Yeah, I mean, totally. It's having information to make good decisions, and if you don't have the good information to begin with, then you're making bad decisions or uninformed decisions. Yeah. Oh, no, good point. Right. And thanks for clarifying that. And so your thoughts on YouTube?
Yeah, so I mean, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, so that doesn't surprise me what you said about your preteens hopping on there first, and it's I don't know if it's social media or whatever you call what it falls under, but it's definitely a platform for businesses to create content and build a community and engage community and really grow their business. I mean, there's a lot of companies that have just rocketed to skydom, if you will, from a successful YouTube campaign, which, I'm not talking about like a single viral video. You can't really plan those, but it's about just kind of consistently creating good content and answering and providing entertainment for your community.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Absolutely. Just as we get ready to kind of wind this interview down here in a little bit, I'm curious to know if someone wanted to come in and fresh off the street, just basically said, "Look, I'm wanting to start a business. This is the niche I'm going after. This is the product or service I want to sell." What first step do you encourage them to go and do?
Well, I would encourage them to look online and see who else is doing something similar. No, I'm sure maybe there's no one doing the exact same thing, and that's okay. But there's probably somebody selling something similar, and just go look and make sure. You want to just kind of do an acid test to make sure that people are interested in what you're selling. I mean, the one thing with the internet that's nice, and this is not just. This is true of anything that you measure, but again, because the internet makes it so easy to measure, is you have to deal with reality, and so that's why species I call it. I deal with reality-based marketing, which is sometimes, and this includes me. Like I have this great idea, and I test stuff, and nobody's interested. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys, this is really cool. But the numbers, they speak for themselves, and as long as you listen to them. And keep moving forward, you can be successful. So starting off, I would say look and try and see if you can't find somebody else who's doing something similar and kind of reverse engineer their business model so you can wrap your head around what's working and what's not.
Yeah, absolutely. One final question. I just want to give you a chance because I really appreciate the time you've given us today. What's on your horizon? The next big step for you, the big plans in the works. What's coming for Ryan Masters?
Well, I'm still working on the men's fitness channel I have. So that is YouTube. So I am familiar with that. I think I just passed 5 million views. So I'm very excited.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Engaged. Yeah, thank you. An engaged audience there. So going to continue to work on that and flesh that out in 2014. And then with Squeeze Juice Marketing, I do a lot of coaching and consulting business, online business coaching and consulting. And so I'm just going to continue to flesh that out as well.
That's great. Ryan, I really appreciate the time today. Congratulations on your success to this point, and best of luck in the future.
Great. Thank you so much, Dennis.
And again, that was Ryan Masters from Squeeze Juice Marketing and the Workout Corner. Great interview. I made a lot of notes if you're watching there on the YouTube. Angry customer is an opportunity to get a customer for life. And anybody that's been in business that when you deal with angry customers, it really is true. You can turn them around pretty quickly by just treating them giving them respect and respecting who they are and what they want. And they're really helping you. You may not feel it at first. If you let you get your emotions involved in that and get in the way of your business, then you're missing an opportunity not only to fix a potential problem in your business, but you're also missing an opportunity to gain a new customer or to get a customer back. So a lot of great information there. The idea of reviews, negative reviews actually being helpful to your business. It gives you some credibility online, and the fact that the paid search works. If anything, it helps you quickly know that your content marketing strategy is going to work. So it all fits into pieces there, but just fantastic. And of course, as I've talked about here, those of you watching this interview on YouTube know just how important YouTube is. It is fantastic. The internet just really is, he pointed out, helping you deal with reality. And from a business perspective, being able to connect with your target audience and knowing that target audience, but then connecting with them in ways you've never been able to do before with traditional media, it is fantastic. So my hat's off to Ryan. Appreciate the time he gave us today. I will have links to his websites in the show notes at crossdig.com. You can look in the podcast section there to find out more information on that as well. If you have someone you think would make a great guest for the crossdig.com podcast, shoot me a message at crossdig.com. Let me know. If you need help with your business from a consulting, coaching point of view, on content marketing strategies, would love to talk with you about that. Just ring me up, call me, give me send me a message at crossdig.com. Would love to talk to you and hear more about that. That's it for today's edition of the crossdig.com podcast. I'm Dennis Washington. Have a great day.